Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. We got a really special guest here because anytime we're all a bunch of degenerate gamblers on some level. That's why you guys watch this show, and that's why I love you. And there is an opportunity for you to get involved in one of the coolest daily fantasy apps that I have seen. It is brand new. You probably don't know about it, but I bet you guys are sick and tired of losing your ass when it comes to FanDuel and DraftKings and never cashing out. Well, this app gives you probably the best chance playing daily fantasy, playing prop bets, and actually cashing out. So we went to the very top. There is nobody else at this place that we can talk to that can better help you understand what it is than the man behind the man behind the man. CEO, president, founder. The guy is, he's the cook. He's the he's everything. He is Adam Weinstein, CEO of Thrive Fantasy. He joins us via the Miami Acura hotline. And Adam, first of all, good morning to you. Thank you so very much for coming on. And talk to us a little bit about Thrive. I mean, if somebody doesn't know what it is, what the hell is Thrive Fantasy?
Sure. Well, what an intro. I appreciate
that. Was impressive, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was impressive. Yes.
I might need you to go on all these calls with me moving forward. But
talk to us. Tell us what Thrive is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as you mentioned, we're a new DFS platform for prop bets. So the biggest pain point, as you mentioned, was on FanDuel and DraftKings. Such a small percentage of users win all the money. So we wanted to completely change that concept. So instead of drafting a lineup with in NFL like one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, all that good stuff, we give you a list of 20 prop bets. So Tom Brady over under 300 passing yards, or Zeke over under 85.5 rushing yards. We give you a list of 20 of these props. You pick 10 out of the 20. The less probable a prop is to occur, the more points you get, wherein lies the game theory. So really fun, very straightforward. It's a more pick-up-and-play type of mentality. You don't need to research every player on every team to be successful on our app. And it's really fun. People seem to really enjoy it.
Well, listen, one of the big problems when it comes to FanDuel and DraftKings is, A, the amount of people that participate in these tournaments. B, it's very hard to compete with guys that are spending thousands upon thousands, have 400 entries in these tournaments. It's kind of hard to compete against them. This sounds like, when I looked at it and when I was playing around with it, you don't have the, at most, I think I saw a couple of tournaments where there were 55 entries at tops, and then once it's filled, it's filled. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so a couple things on what you mentioned. So the guys who are putting out 150, 175 lineups on the big sites, they have the resources not only about the financial backing to put up all that money, but they also have these algorithms that are just spitting out these optimal lineups. And for instance, they'll have the wide receiver 4 of the Vikings in a couple of those lineups, and people such as myself will never even consider putting them in one or two of our lineups, right? So if they go off for 150 and 2 touchdowns, you're pretty much screwed if you don't have that guy. So what's nice on our app is you'll never see the backup catcher for the Mets or the wide receiver 3 of the Pats. You'll see the top-tier athletes, the guys you want to engage with, the guys you know very well. And, the max that we are seeing right now in terms of entries that we allow is normally 10 to 12 in our bigger contests,
which is also amazing. And he is Adam Weinstein. He is the CEO of Thrive Fantasy, joining us via the Miami Acura hotline. It is the coolest. Anybody that, if you have a FanDuel account and you have a DraftKings account, then what you need to do as soon as we're done here is pick up your damn phone, go to the App Store, and download Thrive Fantasy so you guys can see this for yourself. If you enjoy never winning on FanDuel and you enjoy never winning on DraftKings, but you know what? You love playing daily fantasy, this is definitely an app for you. And one of the other cool features, Adam, that I witnessed and that I saw was you have these kind of like, it's kind of like 3 people. I mean, talk to us about that. You got 3 people you're going up against. As long as you don't finish third, you're going to cash out.
That's right. Yeah. So it's a new type of concept. It's a 3-man contest where, let's just say it's 3 people who put in $50. Top user gets 85, second place gets their money back, and then obviously third gets nothing. So if you're in the top 67%, you're at least minimally getting your money back. So people were like, holy shit, this is a cool concept in the sense that you don't have to crush everybody in order to get paid.
How did this all start, Adam? I mean, take us back to the beginning here, man. What will you do? Were you just sick and tired of losing your ass, going, "This is ridiculous. The whole game is rigged"? Like, what did you do that you said, "I got to create something here"?
Yeah, pretty much. So I've been in, whether it was I was playing poker at 15, 16 years old online on my older brother's account, winning a good amount of money. So I've been in this space for quite some time, but I'm an avid sports fan. I know pretty much every player on every team. So when FanDuel and DraftKings came about 5-6 years ago, I was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to make a good amount of money on the side as a nice revenue stream, crushing people on these sites. Deposited a couple $1,000, never came close to sniffing a prize pool. So I was like, this kind of sucks. So really wanted to create something more for the everyday fan and not someone who was getting crushed every day. So also, with that sense, I love prop bets. I think that's the new wave. That experience, sweating a prop bet, is so much more fun than just picking your lineup out of 35 quarterbacks or what have you. So really wanted to do DFS and prop bets and have a baby with it. And, I think it has a lot of legs to stand on. Anybody who's downloaded the app is like, this thing is really innovative, really fun, really, really cool. So that's really how it came to be.
Now, for those of you that are just joining us, and if you're at work stealing corporate time, we love you, then this is even better. You're going to love this app, Thrive Fantasy. Make sure you download it and steal more corporate time. But Adam Weinstein's the CEO. He created this as an alternative to daily fantasy, and there's really two players in the game when you're looking at FanDuel and DraftKings, and this is a great alternative because you don't have to search all 32 damn teams, let's say, in the NFL. You don't have to know every single person looking for that one sleeper that's going to put you over the top. You basically join these, and you've got 10 or 15 guys, Adam, that you're going to choose from. And maybe here's the best part about this, which I thought was really cool. We wake up on Sunday morning, right? We download our money, right? We get it in there. We make our lineup, and then all of a sudden at 12:55, some guy breaks his ass, and now he's not in the lineup, and you're all screwed, and the $100 you just bet is out because your wide receiver, quarterback, or whoever running back is not playing that day. You have an alternative to that, Adam. Explain this to us.
Sure. So another huge pain point for the casual fan is, if that, let's just say for NBA, it's 7 o'clock is lock, and at 6:58 you go out to dinner with your girl or what have you. You have plans. You don't see that one of your big players is a last-second scratch, and then for all intents and purposes, your lineup's screwed. So what we created was, it's called 2 in case of emergency picks. So you have your primary lineup. As I mentioned, you pick 10 out of 20 of these props for your primary lineup. If any of your players in your primary lineup don't play for an unforeseen circumstance, whether it's weather or whether it's, like for baseball, if it was rained out or it's a last-second scratch, we actually implement your in case of emergency picks into your primary lineup. So it's a nice safety net. You don't have to be in front of your computer at 7 o'clock or at 7:30, at 8 o'clock or 12:59, as you mentioned, for NFL. And we really took all the problems that the prior DFS community had, and we wanted to make it an opportunity. So really intriguing in that aspect as well.
What's the feedback you've been getting from people who have downloaded this app and have deposited money? What is the feedback you've been getting so far, Adam?
Sure. So to be candid, I was hoping a lot of people would tell us a lot of things that they wanted us to iterate on or innovate on, but most people are like, this thing is absolutely amazing. It's really something, it's a breath of fresh air, right? I like to consider FanDuel and DraftKings fantasy fatigue. 3-4 years ago, it was a ton of fun creating a lineup, taking like an hour or an hour and a half and doing that research. But now it's the same freaking thing every day. Here, I need to look at all these matchups and the value of the salary cap and cross-reference with this guy and that guy. And it's the same thing. For us, you'll never see the same contest twice. Tonight, we might ask you about LeBron James' total 25.5 total points. Tomorrow we might ask you about his rebounds. The next day maybe his blocks plus steals. So you'll never see the contest lobby. It changes every day, which is really fun, and it's not something that the DFS community has seen.
Let me ask you this, because I have an idea, and I didn't see this, but I'm thinking it, and if it turns out to make $1 million, I'm in for 30%. But is there a possibility to have a lineup that consists of the NBA guys, the NFL guys, the NHL guys, you know, if, on any given night where your lineup could be 10 guys, 3 of them in the NBA, 2 of them in the NFL, 3 of them in the NHL, anything along those lines available yet?
Yeah, so a couple of people have asked us about that. We do have that ability. The only thing that I'm a little hesitant on is if you're an NBA guy, right? You know your NBA stuff. You might not feel as comfortable if I'm asking you about cross sports. So theoretically, we do have that ability, and if a ton of people say, hey, we would love for that to be something that you put out there, I'm open to it. I just don't want to make people unsure of when so for instance, I'm an NFL and NBA and MLB guy, but I know nothing about the NHL. I never grew up on it. I don't really have any engagement with it. So if there was a contest where they're asking me about Evgeny Malkin or Sidney Crosby total over under half a goal, I wouldn't feel as confident putting that lineup out. But listen, guys, like the last thing I am is stubborn. If we hear that feedback, if a lot of people are coming saying we would at least have that as a thought process, I'm open to it. Hit us up on Twitter. We're mostly engaged there on social at Thrive Fantasy, one word. DM us, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we're happy to take that feedback and take it into consideration.
Wait a minute, dude. You're a CEO that gives a shit what the actual consumer thinks. What's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? It's all about what the investors want.
I promise you, you won't get a generic email saying we've taken this into consideration. You never hear from us again. Yeah. We're highly engaged, highly motivated. We understand that the big guys, they don't really give a crap, to be honest. So we want to make sure that your voice is being heard.
I love this. Adam Weinstein, he is CEO of Thrive Fantasy. And again, if you guys are just joining us, make sure as soon as you get a chance, go to the App Store, Thrive Fantasy. Now, this is another question I have, Adam, because when I went there were 2 options for Thrive Fantasy. I think one of them was Draft and another one was just Thrive. So is there a difference? Do people download them both? Explain to us what that is.
So interesting. So for Draft, they might have actually just bought an ad to go on top of us if you search us. So that's probably what it was. But it's just Thrive Fantasy, one word, and we'll pop up in your App Store and your Play Store, www.thrivefantasy.com. What's nice is we'll actually instantly match your first deposit up to $10. And tell us that you came from the show, and we'll definitely hook you up as well.
All right, so you go there, you download the app, you install, and you get it installed, then you go ahead, drop in some money, you can get there, and it doesn't have to be a boatload of money either, Adam, right? You can stick your toe in and dabble in and see what's going on.
100%. I mean, if everybody wants to put in $5K, I'm not going to say no to it, but yeah, of course, you could do couple bucks, $5, $10, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Do we have the ability for the in-game wagering yet, Adam?
We don't. We could theoretically forward. I do want to see how Thrive does with the pregame and lock, but yeah, that is definitely something down the docket. What's nice is like if at halftime we can have new props for second half. LeBron James over 10.5 points as opposed to 25.5 prior to the game. So. Yeah, what's really nice about prop bets is that it's limitless and the opportunities are endless. So with, like, let's just say the Super Bowl, right? On FanDuel and DraftKings, having one lineup, like everybody's going to have the same quarterback or 2 running backs or what have you. So it's not as fun creating it on a one-game slate. On Thrive, with one game, I can have 5,000 props that we ask you about. So definitely a different sweat, different experience during those games.
No, so the only question that I have for you guys watching is what the hell are you doing? Have you gone to the App Store yet? Download it, Thrive Fantasy. It is probably the coolest thing that you are going to see in this space in a long time. The hell with DraftKings, the hell with FanDuel. You ain't winning there anyway, and if you are, you're winning $3 and no. Go to Thrive Fantasy, download it right now. Stick your toe in there, dabble a little bit, deposit, and have some fun with it. I mean, it's so much easier easier not having to worry about knowing every damn dude on every team looking for that one sleeper that might put you over the edge, which some algorithm already pushed out anyway, and you don't have a chance. So this is the way to do it, because they're only going to give you the cream of the crop, guys that you probably already know or already heard of, and then you just got to choose what you think that player is going to do that particular night. You get enough points, you end up winning. Is that about it, Adam? Did I miss anything?
I need to hire you as our marketing rep for sure.
I mean, I don't know what you guys, this is the coolest thing in the world. I mean, especially for you guys that follow us here because you're sports bettors, and you know we bring on only the best of the best when it comes to sports handicappers and the pros. You guys know who we bring on. But if you don't dabble in daily fantasy because you think the odds are stacked against you, because a lot of our guys do here, Adam, they don't dabble in fantasy because they don't like the odds. They don't think that, you know, they can get an edge or there's any value in that, especially going up against the big syndicates. But here, there's value. Here there is value, and here is something that it's a daily fantasy for the sports bettor is really how I'm looking at this, because the guys that don't dabble in it should be dabbling in it, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So, like, when I traded from FanDuel and DraftKings, it's not like I lost my passion to compete and play fantasy. It's just I lost my passion of always losing. So, this is something that I promise you'll have a much better chance at competing at a consistent level on. It's just the sheer fact that we give you a list of 20 athletes, the Cam Newtons, the Joe Mixons, the Antonio Browns of the world. You guys know who these players are. We'll never ask you people that you're not comfortable knowing and researching. So
exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you don't need to know the, you know, who gives a shit player that's third string. It doesn't really make a damn bit of difference. It's only the best of the best, and we're all going to have an opinion one way or another if Cam Newton's going to throw over or under 300 yards. So it's very easy to adapt. You don't have to know an awful lot to have a little fun and just make the games that much more interesting. And you can do it by heading over to Thrive Fantasy. Check it out on the App Store. Download it, deposit it, give it a shot. We'll talk again next week. I want to hear what you guys think. And, of course, Adam is available to you guys. You heard him on Twitter, at Thrive Fantasy. Go ahead. If you got any questions, those guys are great. They answer them for you. You got to love customer service, Adam, in this day and age.
Exactly, yeah. And I can't stress it enough. We listen. We take everything into consideration, and we're here for the people. I was one of the players, so I totally understand what we need, what we want moving forward.
There you go. He is Adam Weinstein. He is the CEO, the man behind Thrive Fantasy. Get there today. Download it. Then hit us up again next week. Tell us what you think. I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun moving forward. It's an alternative to DraftKings and FanDuel, which you don't win anyway. So get involved. Thrive Fantasy. Download it today. Adam, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. You got carte blanche. Come on, whenever you want. We'll make fun of all the FanDuel and DraftKings people who lose, and we'll just show how much our players win.
Much appreciated, Joe.
You got it. Adam Weinstein, Thrive Fantasy. Download it today.